Hey guys, if you're new here, please subscribe. What I'm about to share is a true story that actually happened to me. Don't skip the ending, it's the most important part of all. My name is Olivia Carter, and I didn't learn love from hugs or soft words. I learned it from slammed doors, sharp voices, and the kind of silence that comes after someone says something unforgivable. In my childhood home, my parents fought the way other couples laughed. Morning tea came with accusations. Dinner came with cold stares. Even birthdays had tension hiding behind candles. And the strangest part, they never left each other. They stayed. So my little mind made a rule. If people stay while they fight, then fighting must be the glue. I was a bright child in school, the kind who smiled for teachers and helped classmates. But at home, I was an expert in reading danger. I could tell from footsteps if a storm was coming. I could hear a plate placed too hard and know someone would cry before bedtime. Yet there were happy moments too, warm, golden ones that tricked me into believing everything was normal. My mother would braid my hair and hum softly, as if her voice could erase the bruises on the walls. My father would buy me ice cream after an argument, like sugar could fix words. On weekends, we'd go to the park, and for 2 hours, we looked like a family in a picture frame. I remember thinking, see, it's fine. Fighting is just part of it. No one sat me down to say, Olivia, this isn't love. No one taught me calm. No one taught me tenderness. I grew up believing that to be safe, you had to be loud first, sharp first, stronger first. I promised myself I would never be the weak one, never the one begging. I told myself I would dominate before anyone could dominate me. And because I was young, I confused dominance with survival. I confused fear with respect. I confused control with loyalty. When I became a teenager, I started testing the world with that same rule. If a friend upset me, I didn't talk it out, I punished them with silence. If a teacher corrected me, I took it as an insult. I didn't know how to bend. I didn't know how to soften. I only knew how to win. But still, life gave me sweetness, small, bright blessings. I got compliments for being strong. I got praised for not taking nonsense. People said, Olivia, you don't let anyone walk over you. And I wore that sentence like a crown. I didn't realize it was also a cage. Because inside that crown was a lonely thought I never admitted out loud. If I ever stop being hard, people will hurt me the way my parents hurt each other. So I practiced hardness like a religion, and I didn't even know I was preparing a future where love would be standing right in front of me, and I would push it away with both hands. When I met my husband, Daniel Carter, he felt like sunlight in a room I didn't know was dark. He wasn't dramatic. He didn't raise his voice to win. He listened, really listened, with his whole face, like my words mattered even when they were messy. He worked as a maintenance supervisor at a community center, the kind of job where people only notice you when something breaks, but he took pride in fixing things quietly. That should have been my first clue. He was a builder, not a destroyer. He would bring me small gifts, a warm pastry, a book he thought I'd like, a scarf because he noticed winter made me shiver. And do you know what I did with that softness? I tested it. I challenged it. I stepped on it to see if it would still stand. When he apologized first, I told myself he was weak. When he stayed calm, I told myself he didn't care enough. My twisted childhood rule whispered, if he loves you, he should fight for you. Make him prove it. So I provoked storms in a man who only wanted peace. In the beginning, it almost felt exciting, like the heat I'd grown up around. I'd throw sharp words and he'd hold my hands and say, Olivia, talk to me. Sometimes I'd cry afterward and he'd wipe my tears like he was trying to clean the past off my face. We had happy times too, real ones. We danced in the kitchen, we took long drives and laughed at silly signs on the road. We ate cheap fries on the hood of his old car and planned a future that felt safe. Then motherhood came, and for a while I softened without realizing it. When I held my first son, Adam, I felt a love so pure it scared me. And when our second son, Noah, arrived, my heart doubled in a way I didn't think was possible. Daniel looked at our boys like they were miracles. He woke up at night, changed diapers, warmed milk, whispered lullabies. He called me Liv in a gentle voice that made me feel like I could be good. But my fear of weakness returned like a shadow. The more Daniel loved, the more I worried he'd one day hurt me, because in my mind, closeness always led to war. I began using motherhood as a reason to control everything. I criticized Daniel's parenting. I corrected his tone. I decided what respect should look like, what obedience should sound like. Slowly, the house started carrying my voice the way my childhood house carried my parents'. I wasn't just repeating history, I was perfecting it. I demanded discipline and called it love. I demanded authority and called it protection. And Daniel, being gentle, tried to meet me in the middle, not realizing there was no middle, with someone who believed love should come second and fear should come first. The saddest part is that he still tried. Every day he tried. And I thought his trying meant I was right. There's a kind of silence that doesn't feel peaceful. It feels like a door closing, slowly, permanently. Daniel reached that silence in stages. First, he stopped correcting me in front of the boys. Then he stopped correcting me at all. Then he started spending more time at work, taking extra shifts, volunteering for tasks that kept him away from home. I told myself he was being irresponsible, but deep down I knew he was escaping me without leaving. When we were alone, he'd look at me like he was searching for the woman I used to be in the early days, the one who laughed in the kitchen, who leaned into him on long drives. But I refused to show her. I kept my armor on. One night, after a small argument about something stupid, laundry, I think, Daniel sat down and said, "Olivia, I'm tired." I rolled my eyes and said, "Everyone's tired." And he replied, so softly it almost didn't land, "No, I'm tired of being the enemy in my own home." That sentence hit me like ice water. For a second, I saw myself from outside, sharp, controlling, always ready to attack. It scared me. But instead of apologizing, I did what I always did. I defended. I said, "If you weren't weak, I wouldn't have to be strong." He nodded slowly, like a man hearing a verdict. From that day, his smile became rare. He still took care of things, still paid bills, still did repairs, still showed up for family events, but his spirit looked like it was shrinking. My sons visited and treated him with casual disrespect. They would speak over him, dismiss his opinions, tease him for being too nice. Daniel would laugh politely, but I could see the pain behind his eyes. And I, God forgive me, I sometimes joined in because it felt easier to stay on the winning side. That's the ugly truth. I chose winning over love again and again. Then Daniel's health started changing. He began getting chest tightness, headaches, long pauses in his breath. He brushed it off at first. "Just stress," he said. I wanted to say, "I'm sorry, I'll change." But saying sorry felt like stepping off a cliff. I feared if I softened, I'd lose control. So I stayed hard, even as the man who loved me was quietly breaking. One evening, I found him in the bathroom, gripping the sink, face pale. He waved me off and said, "It's nothing." I snapped, "Stop being dramatic." Even now, writing that sentence feels like swallowing glass. He went to the doctor, got warnings, medication, advice about rest. I dismissed it as weakness. "Men these days can't handle pressure," I said, as if pressure wasn't something I created. Meanwhile, my sons' marriages worsened. Melissa stopped visiting. Tessa stopped calling. My grandsons grew up watching their fathers dominate the way I dominated, and they learned fast. The house that once had laughter became a place where everyone guarded themselves. And still, I believed I was in control. until the day Daniel cried in front of me for the first time in years, and I felt nothing. Or worse, I felt annoyed. That moment is the one that returns to me at night, because that was the moment I officially became someone I don't recognize. Daniel wasn't a man who cried easily. If he was upset, he would go quiet, fix something with his hands, take a walk, breathe through it. But that night, he sat at the edge of the bed like an exhausted stranger and said, "Olivia, do you love me?" I laughed, actually laughed. Not because it was funny, because I didn't know what else to do with tenderness when it demanded an answer. I said, "Don't start with emotional questions." He looked at me like I'd slapped him. Then his shoulders shook. He covered his face and tears slipped through his fingers. "I've tried," he whispered. "I've tried for years. I wanted a home. I wanted peace. I wanted you." And I remember thinking, cold and practical, here we go again, drama. I told him, "Stop crying, you're acting weak." That was the sentence. That was the blade. His crying slowed, like something inside him shut down. He nodded and said, "Okay, just okay." No argument, no begging, no fight. He slept on the couch after that. Days turned into weeks. We became roommates with history, not partners. I told myself it was fine. I told myself he would come around, but he didn't come around. He faded. And then came the day he had the attack. It wasn't loud. It wasn't cinematic. It was ordinary, too ordinary for something so final. He was making tea, and he paused, hand on the counter, breathing strange. I said, irritated, "What now?" He didn't answer. He sank slowly, like his body was giving up without asking permission. The ambulance came. The neighbors watched. My sons arrived with panic in their eyes. In the hospital, machines beeped like cold clocks. Doctors spoke in careful tones. Daniel lay there, weak, eyes half open, trying to find my face. And when his eyes met mine, do you know what I felt? Fear, not of losing him, fear of what losing him would reveal about me. Because if he died, there would be no one left to absorb my anger, no one left to call me Liv, no one left to quietly love me despite my cruelty. He survived that day, but he never truly recovered. His body became fragile, his spirit became quiet. At home, he moved slowly, like every step carried grief. Sometimes I caught him staring at old photos, our wedding day, the boys as toddlers, a vacation at the beach where he held me like I was precious. He would wipe his eyes quickly when he noticed me, but I didn't comfort him. I didn't know how. It felt too late, and instead of facing that, I pretended it wasn't happening. My son's behavior turned uglier. They spoke to their wives like commanders. They spoke to me like I was a servant when I asked them for simple respect. And the most terrifying part, I recognized my own voice in theirs. My grandsons began copying the same tone. One day, my youngest grandson mimicked me, my exact sharp phrase, and everyone laughed, including my sons. I laughed too, because laughter hid the horror. Daniel heard it from the hallway. He didn't say anything, he just turned away. And the turning away felt like a funeral that started early. That's when I began to feel a new kind of pain. Not the pain of being hurt, but the pain of realizing I had caused the hurt and had no idea how to undo it. Daniel died on a cold morning when the sky looked like metal, flat, gray, heavy. He woke up struggling to breathe, and by the time help arrived, he was already slipping away. I stood there, watching the man I had taken for granted leave this world, and it felt unreal, like I was watching someone else's tragedy. In the hospital, a nurse asked me if I wanted a moment alone with him. I walked into the room and saw him, so still, so quiet, finally free from the tension I wrapped around his life. I touched his hand. It was colder than it should have been, and that's when something inside me cracked. Not cleanly, not beautifully. It cracked like a dried branch underfoot, sharp, ugly, irreversible. I leaned close and whispered, "Daniel, I'm sorry." But he was already gone, and apologies spoken to silence don't heal anything. At the funeral, people came and said kind things about him. He was such a good man. He was gentle. He helped everyone. He loved his family. Every compliment felt like a stone thrown at my chest. Because yes, he was all those things, and I had treated those qualities like flaws. I held flowers in my hands, but they felt like proof of my failure. I looked at my sons in their dark suits. I expected comfort, maybe a shared grief that would soften them. Instead, I saw impatience. Adam checked his phone. Noah talked about work schedules. They mourned, but not deeply. The grief looked shallow, like they had learned to shut off feelings the way I taught them. Melissa stood far away, eyes red, but she didn't stand near Adam. Tessa barely spoke to Noah. My grandsons didn't approach me with tenderness. One of them even joked quietly, and the others laughed. The laughter wasn't cruel on purpose. It was worse. It was normal to them, because I raised men who didn't know how to hold sadness with respect. After the burial, the house felt different. Daniel's absence wasn't just emotional, it was physical. The space he used to fill with calm was now empty, and my own voice echoed back at me, harsh and lonely. That night, I sat in the living room with the TV off, just listening to the house breathe, and I realized something terrifying. I didn't know how to live without conflict. I had built my identity around being dominant, being feared, being right. But now there was no partner to fight with, no gentle man to absorb my storms. All that remained was me, an older woman with a lifetime of sharpness, surrounded by family that mirrored my worst lessons. I tried calling Adam for help with something small, and he sighed like I was annoying. I tried asking Noah to spend time with me, and he said he was busy. When I gently told my grandson to speak politely, he rolled his eyes and said, "Relax." That word, relax, felt like an insult because I had never taught relaxation. I had only taught control. I started visiting Daniel's grave more often than I admitted. I would sit there with flowers, staring at his name, and my chest would ache with a kind of regret that had nowhere to go. I wanted to rewind years. I wanted to find young Olivia and shake her and say, "Stop, love him properly." But time doesn't rewind. It only waits for you to finally understand what you did. Thank you for listening to my story and for learning the lesson it carries. If this story touched you and you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel and stay connected for more true stories based on real life experiences.